we are going to study about the evolution of public administration as an academic discipline. Going through this lecture, you will be able to understand the evolution of public administration as an academic discipline. To understand how and why public administration have changed over the years, you will be get introduced to various perspectives in public administration. As you know, public administration is the combination of two words, public and administration. Before we are going to analyze the evolutionary stages of public administration, first of all, we have to understand what administration is. Administration is the combination of two words which originated from its Latin root ad plus ministere. Ad means to. Ministere means to look after, to carry out, to serve, to care for, etc. So, administration means look after or carrying out the affairs of the state. Public administration means the adjective public is added to administration. Public stands for common, governmental, etc. So in simple terms, we can say that public administration is governmental administration. Now, we are going to examine some definitions given by eminent professors of public administration. Public administration is an aspect of the larger field of administration. Administration could be defined as a cooperative group effort to accomplish the desired ends. Professor L.D. White defines public administration as all those operations having for their purpose for the fulfillment or enforcement of public policy. Professor Ian Gladden says that administration is a slightly pompous word, but it has a humble meaning. He says that public administration as that which is concerned with the administration of government. So public administration can be classified as an activity, it can be considered as a profession, and it is also recognized as an academic discipline. Now, let us examine the various stages through which public administration evolved as an academic discipline. Earlier, the study of administration was not made a separate discipline. It was interwoven with the study of political science. Public administration as an academic discipline has gone through 5 successive paradigms or 5 successive stages. The stage 1 is called politics administration dichotomy, which extended from 1887 to 1926. And the second stage is called principles of administration. It extended from 1927 to 1937. And the third stage is referred to as era of challenge, which extended from 1938 to 1947. And the fourth stage is referred to as the stage of identity crisis, which is extended from 1948 to 1970. And the last and final stage of the evolution of the subject of public administration is the public policy perspective, which is uh, which began from 1971 and still it is continuing. Now let us examine in detail about the stages of the growth of the discipline of public administration. So the first stage, that is politics administration dichotomy, began in 1887. The basic theme of this stage was the advocacy for a separate study of administration from political science, its mother discipline. It is regarded as the beginning of the evolution of public administration. As you know, Woodrow Wilson is recognized as the father of public administration because it was he who wrote a famous book or famous article, The Study of Administration, in Political Studies Quarterly in 1887. This essay laid the foundation for a separate, independent and systematic study of public administration. So Woodrow Wilson is regarded as the father of public administration. Wilson argued that politics is concerned with policy making, whereas public administration is concerned with the implementation of that policy. So the formulation of the policy is the political side and the implementation of the policy is the administrative side. He called for a separate study of public administration. He explained it in this way that it is getting harder to run a constitution than to frame one. So this line of thought further continued by Frank J. Goodnow in his book Politics and Administration, published in 1900. Goodnow expressed his views as politics has to do with policies and administration has to do with execution of these policies. And the first book in public administration was published in the year 1926, which was a book written by Leonard White, which is named Introduction to the Study of Public Administration. It was considered as the first textbook in public administration which dealt systematically with administration in government. With this book, the study of public administration began as a subject of academic study. Now we move on to the second stage of the evolution of public administration. The second stage is called Principles of Administration, which extended from 1928 to 1937. During this stage, the scholars believed that there are certain principles of administration which could be discovered and applied to increase the efficiency and economy of public administration. As the principles of administration have universal validity and relevance, it was said that public administration is a science. So the main characteristic of this era is that the scholars of the world began to inquire the scientism behind the study of administration. Then there was a flow of a number of publications by many political scientists and administrators, and the important one among them is W.F. Willoughby's Principles of Public Administration, which was published in 1927. It inaugurated the new principles approach. Willoughby believed that certain principles of administration can be derived through scientific research. This line of thought was taken further by Henry Fayol's Industrial and General Management and Luther Bullock and Lyndall Urwick's papers on science of administration. Gulick and Warwick coined the acronym POST-CORE, which we know each letter of the word represents each principle. POST-CORE stands for planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting, and budgeting. So this POST-CORE acronym is regarded as the beginning of the inquiry of scientism in the study of public administration. So these 7 principles have been given by Leonard White. Now we proceed on to the third stage of the evolution of public administration. This stage is called the era of challenge, which began in 1938 and extended up to 1947. The principles of administration were challenged and criticized by a number of scholars on the ground that they lack some scientific validity and universal relevance. As a science of administration, public administration should touch the hearts of the people. Hence, they were dubbed as mere proverbs of administration. Moreover, the principles approach was criticized as a mechanistic approach due to its emphasis on formal structure of organization and neglected socio-psychological aspects of organizational behavior. Moreover, the principles approach was criticized as a mechanistic approach due to its emphasis on formal structure of organization and neglect of socio-psychological aspects of organizational behavior. During this period, Herbert Simon he was more critical of principles of administration and described them as proverbs of administration. He advocated that a behavioral approach to the study of administration is essential. He made it more clearly that the idea of politics administration dichotomy and recommended an empirical approach to public administration. Robert Dahl emphasized the environmental effects on administrative behavior. He believed that public administration cannot escape the effects of national psychology and social, political, and cultural environment in which it develops. So he suggested comparative studies in public administration. So the fourth stage is a stage of identity crisis with regard to the study of public administration. With the rejection of a politics administration dichotomy in the earlier period, public administration suffered from crisis of identity. As a result, some scholars returned to political science, the mother discipline, and some others moved towards administrative sciences. However, in either case, public administration lost its separate identity. Various developments took place during that period: the rise of a new relations approach, growth of comparative public administration, emergence of a new public administration, advocacy of public choice approach, etc. are important developments during this period. Now we may proceed to the final stage, that the present stage of evolution of the discipline of public administration, that is public policy perspective. It began in 1971 and still continues as an important stage of evolution. As government seeks to formulate and implement more and more welfare programs, Policy formulation and decision making have become the primary areas of the study of public administration. So, the notion that public administration and politics are separate fields of study is no longer valid. A government is considered as an organized whole, and the policy making and policy implementation, even though they are separate fields, but they have so many commonalities while we consider them as activities of the government. Writers in public administration have shown interest in related areas like policy sciences, political economy, the public policy making processes, and its analysis became vital during these years. By adopting public policy analysis approach, public administration gained social relevance. Since 1990s, public administration is facing some challenges as a consequence of changes in the global scenario. We are all aware that during 1990s, the buzzword was globalization. We entered into a globalized world after the collapse of USSR and communist states, which led to the rise of neoliberalism and privatization. The advocates of public choice theory propose debureaucratization, thus posing a serious challenge to the advocates of public choice theory proposes debureaucratization, thus posing a serious challenge to public administration. The process of evolution shows that public administration has withstood a number of shocks. Today, it has become interdisciplinary and heterodox. We will continue our discussion with another topic in another episode. Till then, goodbye.